Today on Zero to Awesome, we're back at work on our mini off-road camper thing, and in a prior episode, you probably saw us make this slide out right here. And today, our goal is to make it so the slide out doesn't fall out. If you're just joining us, welcome, and this is Xterra, our 2002 Nissan Xterra that we are making into an off-road camper. We are going to make a slide out for the sleeping quarters, and then out of that we'll pop a kitchen. It's going to be a Russian nesting Xterra thing, and it's going to be great. But today we need to work on a support for our slide out. So I have a couple ideas on how to do that. So one option would be to make some legs or something that you mount on the side here, and then they come down and support the back of it on the ground. But the thing is, this is a car, and so when you get in it, it's going to bounce up and down, and the legs may bounce up and down with it, and that may not be the best idea. Another thing we thought about was doing like some sliders in here, and then like the sliders would slide out and support the whole thing. The only thing is, sliders that can support a lot of weight are really expensive, and we're keeping this a budget build, so we're not going to do that. Another thought we had was that maybe we could somehow kind of like prop the hatch open with something and then hang the slide out off of the hatch, and that would work. We also bought like 3 winches for this thing, so a thought was, well, we're gonna have 2 winches on the front. We could put 1 winch on the back here somehow, and then maybe rig up some sort of cabling system that would, like masts and booms, and then that supports the slide out. You could also do some sort of thing off the top here where the jingle jangle goes into the roof, and then a pneumatic system with rams coming out the bottom. So think of this giant airbag underneath, and it inflates, and then so we'd make it like a water bed, but instead of filling it with water, we'll fill it with helium. We could do this, and then she just stays there the entire time you're camping. You getting tired yet?
Yeah.
But I think what we've actually settled on is some sort of support that comes out either from the trailer hitch sort of area, or maybe from the sides of the bumper here, because these bumpers, they're plastic, they gotta go. We're gonna make some more metal bumper, just like we did on the front, maybe not as fancy as that one, but some sort of support where you got your support here, you can slide your slide out, it rests right on it, and then it's exactly level with the rest of the floor. And then if you wanted to, you could probably just drive around with your slide out open. That'd be fun. So I'm gonna get started by taking the bumpers off, seeing what we have to work with, and then figuring something out for this. Alright, so the plastic parts of the bumpers are off, and I've been playing around with a lot of ideas here. And part of the challenge that we have is that the bumper here is one level and needs to be that height so the tailgate can still open. But then we need to support the slide out a little bit higher. So we gotta overcome that somehow. And I think the best way to do it is, I mentioned we were gonna make a steel bumper, but maybe the steel bumper is more of a steel cage. And what I'm thinking is, we put some sort of hinge right here, we build out like a skeleton structure of a bumper, and that skeleton structure swings around and becomes support for the slide out. So I'm going to start working on that, and we'll see what we can get done. Okay, so now we have these really interesting looking brackets of sorts. So we use 1-inch square tube for the main part of it. We've got 11 gauge steel for the support parts that we need to hinge off of, and the whole thing has been welded to the bumper. I was kind of worried about how that would attach, but this thing is like on there. It's not going anywhere. So next up, we're gonna take some more square tube. We're gonna put it in here, put a bolt through there to hinge on, and then I picked up some quick release pins, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so it locks into like the bumper position, and then it'll swing around and lock back into the slide out support position. So next we need to figure out how to build some sort of bumper thing. Also, the Amazon man came and he brought this. So this is a jaw horse. A viewer saw me working on something, I forget which video it was, and he was like, hey man, you need a jaw horse. And I was like, what is that? So I went out, looked, and it turns out it's a sawhorse with a big clamp on there. So you can clamp stuff in there and work on it. So we'll be setting that up and using that today, and we'll see how it goes. Houston, we have a problem. So I was just going and I was about to attach this piece right here to start connecting the two rails we have going here to give it some strength. So, you know, the slide out would be pushing on this whole structure versus just this top bar here. And the problem is that these hinges are in different spots. So you got this one out here, you got this one in here. So that means as you start to rotate this around to the back of the car, they rotate at different rates. So this bottom one has a smaller rotation to complete than the top one, so you can't connect them because they're gonna turn at different times. So that means we have to change something. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm basically just gonna move this guy right here up to there. That way the hinges are in the same spot and we're moving at the same speed. And then since, I don't know, we already have this built, maybe I'll just go ahead and cut this off, weld it right there, and that'll be, you know, just another part of our bumper. We'll have to see what happens. But for now, we need to make more of this, more hinge spots, and go from there. Okay, so these are looking a lot better now. So we got the hinges in the same spot vertically. And so now the whole thing swings right around. Or you can have like a people impaler if you want, you know, whatever you're working on there. But next up, we still got a little bit more work to do. We still have a couple inches here of space between the top of our slide out support thing and the slide out itself. So I need to add a little bit more here, like another level. And also what I need to do is make sure that the slide out comes out level in relation to the floor here. So what we're gonna do next is jack up the front of the car, get the sleeping surface level, pull the slide out, put some weight on it, because it probably is gonna sag just a little bit. Actually, let's make sure these aren't gonna fall off. Today on Zero Awesome, we're doing dips because we don't want to go to the gym and get the virus. Now, you know you're doing your dips right when you feel the burn. And I feel the burn because that one's still hot. Also, time for a jaw horse update. So this thing's been working out really well. Now, it may be a little duplicative of the vise over there, but the vise mars things every time you put it in there. And the jaw horse has these great rubber pads on it. You can clamp down on stuff pretty hard and you're not gonna mar anything. Also, you can move this around the garage, and the vise, as you can see, I got crap all over my workbench, and I don't typically grind and do things over there because then I'll get everything dirty. So this is great to put out of the way. And speaking of the workbench, we have some parts over here for an upcoming project. Alan and I, well actually maybe two upcoming projects. We both bought a little something that we're gonna work on. So, you know, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons and you can see what we're gonna get into. And we've got slide out supports, or most of them anyways. So the reason I only went this far is because we still need to support our second slide out. And I'm assuming we're gonna wanna build onto these. So I'm gonna leave them like that for now, but they are plenty strong enough to just support this. We also got our pinholes drilled so you can lock it in the slide out position. Take your pin out, swing it around, and then lock it in the bumper position. But let's see if it supports. So the slide out is out. It is supporting itself. We have all this room for activities, and we're even level. Now, this does mean we're gonna have to level out the Xterra itself whenever you want to go camping and sleep in there, but we'll probably just get a couple RV blocks, throw them under the front wheels, drive up on them, good to go. And one final thing, which is our channel just hit 10,000 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our channel, and as a result, we now have a t-shirt store. So if you're watching this on a computer, right below there should be some shirts popping up, and if you want to, you can buy them. They look just like this one. They're probably a little less dirty, a little less sweaty, and probably don't have as many welding holes in them, or at least I hope so. But until next time, just remember, we had some questionable welds today, but that's why grinding exists. It's like the Photoshop of the metal world. See you later. So I swear we spend half the time we spend building things just looking for stuff that we've lost. So I just cut this piece of metal right here for the bottom. Can't find it anywhere. Anybody see it? There it is. Alright, y'all ready to go for a walk? Hey, can you actually hold on for a second? I forgot something. Now Yeah, we can go.
What the hell is that?
This is our jaw horse. It has wheels, so you can take it for a walk.
I wanted a pony, not a jaw horse.